Oh, okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. قال الله تعالى في كتاب الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا ينصرن الله من ينصره إن الله لقوي عزيز. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah 22 ayat 40, and Allah will certainly help those who help him, and he is all powerful, all majestic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses in this ayat, there's a grammatical term called nunu ta'kid. Nunu ta'kid is used for emphasis. It's an extra nun on that has shadda on the last nun. Normally it would be la yansuranna Allah, like Allah will help you, but in this case, the extra nun is for emphasis. So it means Allah will definitely help those who help him. And Allah is mighty and Allah is strong and mighty. So we know that Allah is Al-Ghani. Allah is free from any type of needs. So what does he mean when he says he will help those who help him? So we help Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by helping his religion. Thus, when we help our fellow Muslim brother, we are actually helping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just we see in narrations that if one who visits his Muslim brother while he's sick, it would be as if you had visited Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, anyone who visits his brother in faith for the sake of Allah, Allah Almighty will say, you have visited me, therefore your reward is upon me, and I will not be satisfied with a reward for you less than Jannah. Subhanallah. Allah has made, it very easy for us. Look at the reward of just visiting your fellow Muslim. Just go to their house, visit them, or go out for chai or coffee together or something and visit your fellow believer. Allah will say, it's like you have visited me, and he will give you Jannah for this action. Subhanallah. So we're talking about the rights of brotherhood, and the next right that of these 30 rights that we were talking about is giving your brother in faith a hand when he's about to fall. So it encompasses a lot of different aspects of life, and we'll go over some of the examples. The first one we can say is being there for your fellow Muslim when they need emotional support. Many people are going through a lot of difficulties, a lot of trials in life on a daily basis. Sometimes they seem okay, but we don't know what they're really going through in their home or in their work, with their family, all sort of things in their life. They're going through many troubles, and they are struggling to deal with all of these things: marriage problems, work problems, money problems, loss of a loved one, depression, anxiety, stress, all sort of issues people are dealing with on a daily basis. And these issues can make someone feel overwhelmed. They can make them feel down and sad and overburdened with all type of emotions. So sometimes just being there for the other person, listening to them, is all it takes to give them help and give them relief and give them comfort. And it's very dangerous for a person to bottle up all of these powerful emotions and inside, and over time it can lead to mental breakdowns, hopelessness, or even suicide, na'udhu billah. So we have to have someone that we can confide in, and it should be our brother or sister in faith. We need to have someone that we can talk to, and we should be there for them. And this is giving them a hand when they are about to fall. Life has overwhelmed them and they are about to fall. They are sunk down into a deep rut or depression or something like this. We give them a hand and they are falling, and we are lifting them back up, just like we would want someone to do for us. And we have beautiful hadith from Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, our second Imam. He says, brotherhood is loyalty in hardship and in comfort. So we are brothers to each other in the good times and in the bad times. The second thing that we can say, that this right of our brother over each other, giving them a hand when they're about to fall, is financial assistance. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa said, the one from whom his brother Muslim needs borrowing, but he doesn't give him a loan, Allah prohibits him from entering Jannah on the day when the righteous will be rewarded. Also, Imam Bakr alayhi salam said, shame on the brother who is a brother who looks after you when you are rich, and then he separates from you when you are poor. And this goes along with what we were talking about in the other lesson about israf and spending money in the way of Allah and helping each other. So we see that if we have the money to help our fellow believer and we see him falling and he's reaching out his hand to, someone to grab him, he's like he is a drowning person in the sea. He's reaching out his hand for help. And we just look at them and we say, I have the way to help him, but I'm not going to do it. I want to keep my money for a rainy day, even though he needs it and he's going to lose everything if he doesn't get this, loan. I'm not going to give it to him. And then, they'll have to answer for that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he will prohibit him paradise for this thing. And this pact of brotherhood that we have between us is based, on our shared belief in Allah, Rasulullah, and A'imma alayhimus salam. So it's not based on materialistic things. Money comes and goes. That it's not like that we are only brothers when we are in good standing financially, but when we are suffering too, we are still brothers. Money comes and goes, like I said. And one day you have a job and a car, and the next day could be in an accident and lose both of them. So the things come and go. A true brother in faith would be there for you regardless of whether you are rich or you are poor. Because these monetary things, they are trivial and they don't mean anything to him because his loyalty is based on something greater than materialistic things. His loyalty is based on the mutual faith in Allah, Rasulullah, and A'imma alayhimus salam, Ahlul Bayt. Like I said, Imam Hassan alayhi salam said, loyalty, brotherhood is loyalty in hardship and also in comfort. So the second thing is financial. The third thing we can say is to give good advice, beneficial advice to our brother or sister in faith when they are in need of it. When we see that they are, the right is giving them a hand when they're about to fall. So meaning that we see that they are, going off track and we give them good advice. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, amongst the alms or zakat that people give, none is as valuable as giving knowledge and wisdom to other people. No gift is more valuable than that one should tell his Muslim brother a good word or a right word. Through that, he is guided to the path of Allah and he gets rid of his deviation or the wrong way that he is going. And we love our brothers and sisters in faith, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should care about them just like we care about our own family members. We have to ask ourselves, would we like to see one of our family members going down the wrong path that would cause them to get hurt? Of course not. If we knew that around the corner, around this corner, there's a huge cliff that they would drive off of if they weren't warned, what would we do? Would we let them just continue, go on and destroy themselves and drive off of that cliff? Obviously, we would do the utmost that we can do to stop them and convince them that there's a danger ahead if they continue on the road that they're on. And, we should at least care enough for our fellow Muslims, even to, just to warn them. And if they wish to proceed and go on that, that's their decision and they'll be held accountable for that. But at least we have warned them and given them some good advice. The issue that we face in mankind and humanity, in this stage, is that no one cares about anybody anymore unless they are directly related to that person. And even in some cases, people don't even care about their relatives anymore. They only care about themselves. I'll give you an example. For if a person gets shot, have all these mass shootings all the time. If a person gets shot in another part of the country, you will say, oh man, that's, terrible. Do you see what happened, for example, I don't know, in Alaska or somewhere, it's far away. You see what happened in Alaska, that someone got shot? That's terrible. Then you move on, continue with your life. then it happens in your own state. For example, it happens in, or your own city, it happens in Kansas City, for example, it will affect you a little bit more. So, that's close to home. My kid, you see what happened downtown, someone got shot. And it happens in your own neighborhood, it will shake you even stronger. Wow, it happened in my own neighborhood. Then if it were your friend, now the billah, it would be even more severe to you because you knew this person. My friend, he got shot. And if it were your own family member, it would devastate you completely. So we see that it differs in degrees. So we have to look at our believers as we do our family members. So if something happened to them, it would devastate us and it would shock us. And it wouldn't be like some stranger who's, 300 miles away. And we just say, oh, that's bad, that's terrible, and just continue on with our life. We should want to try to help them and fix the problem or solve the issue if we can. And we should be concerned and care for, humanity. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said that know that people are of two types. They're either your brother in religion or your equal in creation. So Allah tells, we should care about all people. This is what we gain from this saying of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And we have to care for our fellow believers even more than we care for humanity. So we're supposed to care for humanity. Imagine how much we should care for our fellow believers. We have narration from Imam Qadim alayhi salam. He said, and the believer is the real brother of the believer, even though his parents may not have given birth to him biologically. So it shows that we are all family. Imam is saying that we are the real brother. We are like the real brother of each other. And we also have narration from Imam Bakr alayhi salam and Imam Sadiq that believers are brothers of one another, like one physical body, from which when one part is lost, the whole body becomes affected. This is what I was mentioning in the other class. And we have also narrations like this from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when one part of the body hurts, the whole body hurts. So when one part of the ummah hurts, all of us hurt. For example, we see what's going on in Palestine. We should also feel pain because of these people being displaced and being bombed and being killed and all of these things, and not just carry on. The least we can do is make dua for them and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help them and aid them and keep them in our thoughts and our prayers and do what we can for them, instead of saying, oh, who cares? They're in some other country. I'm not concerned about him. It doesn't matter what part of the world we are in. We are all Muslims and we are all interrelated, through faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have even greater connection in faith when it comes to walayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. So we shouldn't ignore when someone in our community is going through something and say, whatever, I haven't seen him in a while. I heard he's going through something, and it's like, oh, well, whatever, he'll come back whenever he gets himself straight. No, we should notice and say, I haven't seen such and such in a long time. I wonder what's going on with them. Are they okay? Maybe we should check on them and see if they're all right. We have hadith narrated from Jabir, who said, I sighed in the presence of Abu Ja'far, Imam Bakr alayhi salam. And he said, I said to him, Yabna Rasulullah, sometimes I feel afflicted and I feel, sad for no reason at all. And I'm overcome with a condition of grief that, even my family and my friends, they notice it on my face. So we see that sometimes this happens to us. Sometimes we're just sitting there and we get sad for no reason, and we don't know why, and we just get overcome or overwhelmed by something. So Jabir telling Imam, this happened to me. What is this? So Imam says, indeed, this happens, Jabir. So Jabir said, why is that, Yabna Rasulullah? So Imam said, what will you do with it if I tell you the reason? Like, what will you do with this information? He said, I just would love to know. So he said, Ya Jabir, Allah created the believers from the earth of paradise and brought about their souls from the breeze of paradise. Believers are thus full brothers of one another. So when one soul amongst this group of souls is afflicted in any place, the rest are sad because they are all one. They are connected. And this is how we should be. When we see something happening to someone else, another believer, we should feel that pain too. And we should want to solve their issue too, just like they are one of our own family members. The next thing that we can say is solving his needs and fixing his problems, removing his hardships. For example, we have a riwayat from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam that said, the reward for eliminating the cause of a Muslim sorrow is more than the reward for praying and fasting, and thus is the best way to approach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will grant 73 rewards to whoever eliminates the cause of a Muslim sorrow or a believer's sadness. He will save 72 of those rewards for him, and he will give him one reward immediately. So the Imam is telling us that yes, we have to pray and we have to fast, but there are things that are, more important than praying and fasting our whole entire life. And the best way to approach Allah is to do service towards other people, to help other people in their life when they are suffering, when they're going through some tragedy, not to ignore them and leave them on their own. We should never feel that we are all alone because we have so many believers that we are all connected together, that we should feel that we have a constant support group of people that we can talk to, people that we can rely on. If someone is suffering in their home and they're facing difficulties in their house, when they come to the Husayniyah or the masjid, then they should feel that that is their home. That is their place, that they have a safe space, that they can trust people, that they can talk to people, that they feel that they are like in their own house, for example, like a nice house that they can be respected and everything is good. And is their escape from their problems. When they're facing problems, they should feel that they should be able to come to the Husayniyah or the masjid and get away from those problems and come into a place of safety where people will care for them and help them and eliminate their sorrow and their grief when they enter that place. They should feel that it removes itself at least for a little while. So we shouldn't wait for our brothers in faith to come and ask us for help. Sometimes we wait for them, if they need help, they'll come and ask. But rather, we should be so close to our brothers in faith that, we communicate with them frequently, we talk with them, we check up on them, and we see how each other are doing, and we will know if the other one is in need of help or not. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he said, you should not make your brothers ask for their needs if you have recently known them. So we should, if we hear about someone who's suffering from a problem, we shouldn't wait for them to come and ask us. We should go towards them. We should rush for earning Allah's pleasure by helping our brothers and sisters in faith when they need help and not run away from them when they have problems. If someone came to you with their problems, don't feel tired of them. Sometimes we feel that we are, oh man, not again. This person is coming. I think they want to ask me for something. But look at it as it is as if Allah is giving you the opportunity to help aid someone and get such great reward of relieving the Muslim from their sorrow. And sometimes people even do something worse than ignoring, and not helping those in need, and that's laughing at them while they're down, making fun of them. They'll even record people who are suffering or in their lowest moments and put it online for others to laugh at. Today's time, two people are fighting. The person, what do? They grab their phone and they start recording it and laughing and look at this one fighting the other one when they could have just intervened and stopped the whole thing from happening in the first place. Someone is drowning in the pool, they pull out their phone and record it instead of jumping in and trying to save them. And it's just the times that we live in because we are not connected. We don't feel responsibility or accountability, or we don't feel connection with other people. And then we have even worse, some people even pray for the downfalls of others when they see that they are happy. They have hasad, have envy and jealousy. And as the saying goes, misery loves company. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, never gloat over the misfortunes of your brother, because he might be freed from that problem and you may be the next target of it. So we should never gloat over someone who's suffering. We should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they are relieved of that suffering, and thank Allah that we are not going through that suffering. So when someone comes to you, or they find out, or you find out, for example, that a person is in need, you should view it as Allah has favored you by allowing you to be able and be the means of solving that person's problem that's plaguing their life. You should be honored and you should be thankful that you are able to gain Allah's pleasure by this way. So we have to be the support for each other when someone needs help. Some of us are stronger in certain things and others may be weak in, but we have to help strengthen and support each other in order that we can become successful in this dunya and akhirah. And we need to be like mirrors of each other. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, a believer is like a mirror for his believing brother, and he should remove his troubles. So when we look see our brother, if he has a problem, it looks like we have the problem, because they are like a mirror, and we want to solve our own problems. So we should also want to solve their problems. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, alayhi salam, he says, Ya Kumail, the believers should be mirrors of each other. When they look at others, they should meet the needs and settle the problems. Ya Kumail, the believers are brothers. Brothers should never prefer anything to each other. Minimum rights of one believer over his fellow believing brother. He said he should give a higher priority to the urgent needs of his brother more than his own urgent needs. So how can we begin to fulfill the right of our brothers and sisters in faith? Well, we have to ask. We're always thinking of ourselves first. And, we're always thinking of ourselves and not of anyone else who is in need. And we need to be the opposite of this. We need to, see what kind of examples and instructions Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam have given us. We have to remember the brotherhood of Abu Fadl Abbas with his brother Imam Hussein alayhi salam. For example, when Abbas, he couldn't tolerate the cries from those thirsty children when they were trying to get water from the Farat. When he reached the Farat and he saw the water, he had opportunity to drink it, quench his thirst. And he took the water and he said, how can I drink this water and cool my thirst when my master, Sayyidi Imam Hussein alayhi salam, is thirsty? So he threw the water back. And we are, speaking of the right of giving your brother a hand when he is about to fall. But what about Abu Fadl Abbas alayhi salam? He gave both his hands to support his brother. When Fatima Zahra alayhi salam used to pray at night, she would pray all the way to the dawn. And her older son, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, he used to hear Fatima Zahra praying for all sort of people. It seemed to be everyone, even by name. So he asked her if she even prayed for herself. Oh, I hear you praying for everyone else. Do you even pray for yourself? And she replied with the famous line, Ya bunay al-jar thumma dar. Oh, my son, the neighbor is first, then the house. So we have to think about other people first instead of ourselves. Imam Bakr alayhi salam, he said to love your Muslim brothers and like for them what you like for yourself. Ask them for help if you need anything, and fulfill their needs if they ever ask you for help. Don't hide from them any good things, because you are their supporters. When they are not present, support them in their absence until they return. Then go see them when they return. Honor them, since you are from them and they are from you. If they blame you, don't abandon them, and let them express whatever bothers them. Praise Allah when they receive some good things, and help support them whenever they are suffering from a calamity. If we look at this the sayings of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they're beautiful. I believe they have the solutions for all of the society's problems in these days. It's the true essence of brotherhood, which is lacking in all the places of the earth. If they only followed the words of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, we wouldn't have many of the problems that we have. And we always, have to care for our brother and help them whenever they are in need. And we have to help them overcome the obstacles that they are facing and strengthen them by whatever means that we have. We are a support group for one another, and we're all striving toward the same thing, which is pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring us closer together as a ummah, as a community, and that we are more empathetic towards each other, and that we help and assist each other whenever one is feeling down. And we have to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Him that He help us all to be more helpful to each other, and that we can become united as brothers and sisters under the banner of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhim assalam. And we'll end with the dua from Quran, Surah Al-Hashr, Ayah 10. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. O our Lord, forgive for us and our brothers who preceded us in faith, and remove any ill will or bad things that we have in our hearts against the believers. Our Lord, you are the compassionate and the merciful. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli.
اللهم صل على محمد